grab a beer. We'll put college football in your ear.
Let's rock and roll. I got mine. Welcome in, Big Ten backers. We're going to bring in those big-ass dump trucks for you. But first, Beve, we got to talk about where we gone, where we been, and what we do, baby.
Hey,
Talk
man, put up that map. There we go. We've been everywhere, man. Hell yeah.
You trying to think you're Johnny Cash? What's going on with that?
I take pride in this, man. We put a lot of miles on those cars, a lot of gasoline. We need a sponsor from a gas station immediately.
That we do. Come on, Quick Trip. We're always eating there, boy.
Quick Trip. Sheets, man. I like some sheets and I like to come and go.
Tell the backers where we're going for week 13. There's only one place.
There's only one place to be in week 13, baby. That is in Ann Arbor at the Big House, living the dream. It's for all the marbles, baby. This may be the last one like this, man. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm pumped already, man. I'm pumped.
I'm pumped with you, Beve. I'm ready to do it. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to get in the stadium.
Oh, look at that.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about that one big-ass dump truck in the Big Ten.
And there's not many big-ass dump trucks either.
There is not many this week, surprisingly, for a rivalry week. But we got number 2, Ohio State, at number 3, Michigan. This is a 12 p.m. game on Fox, man. The game is here. It's time to get it on in the Big House. 2 undefeated teams. You don't get this very often. We got it 2 years in a row here in the Big Ten. Man, Oh, man. I'm going to say defense, defense, defense. You got the number 1 and number 2 scoring defenses and the number 1 and number 2 yards allowed defenses in this game. Boy, Beve, this is going to be a showdown.
Yeah, and the points per game allowed by Michigan, man. Those Wolverines are only allowing 9 points per game. Ohio State, 9.3. So they're neck and neck. This is going to be a heavyweight fight, AJ. What do you think, man?
Man, I don't know. This game is one of them games, it seems like, where there's one team that's always dominant. Is this going to be a one-sided dominance? Will this be a slugfest? Will this be an old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust type game? I don't know. I feel like every time we get one of these games, one of them runs off with it, whether it's Ohio State, Michigan, obviously Michigan the last couple of years. But, man, Jim Harbaugh's going to be crunching chips on his couch, scratching his balls, watching this game from his mama's couch. He ain't going to be there, Beve. That's going to add some extra pressure for Michigan. That's going to add actually a lot of pressure for Ryan Day. You imagine if Ryan Day loses this one with Jim Harbaugh not there? Boy, I think Michigan has a lot to lose here, because if they lose, everyone's going to say it's because they didn't have Connor Stallions cheating for them. Man, Michigan comes in, though. 2 consecutive wins. First time since the 2000s. Crazy, man. Ohio State has owned the recent dominance, but like I said, they have been Michigan's bitch boy as of late.
Yeah, buddy, man. Like you said, they busted their nuts in 2021 and 2022. But yeah, those 2 wins, are they going to come with asterisks? That's the question. What happens after this season when the NCAA finalizes their investigation, when you have a full-scale investigation? Right now, it's just the Big Ten doing, Big Ten things. They wanted to upset the apple cart a little bit, so they're like, yeah, you're out for a couple games. But it's not over yet. There's still an FBI investigation that possibly has ties to this. It may come with asterisks, and these games may be erased forever in the record books. I know they still happen, and man, like Aiden Hutchinson we talked about earlier, damn. I mean, you can't erase what he did to that offensive line of Ohio State because he was getting sacks. And that didn't come with any sign stealing.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best rivalries in all of American sports. It doesn't get much better than this at all. I mean, like all the players that's played in this game, you talk about Tom Brady and Troy Smith, the Bosa brothers, Ezekiel Elliott, Ty Law, Chris Carter. Like, man, I know you could add some in there for me, Beve. Throw some more in there.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, you got Simba himself that came in a fourth quarter and won the game when Troy Smith went down, and then he went on to be a star 1 year and gone. Anyone you can think of, man. There's so many. I mean, Tressel, you got to think of the names of the coaches, too. You got to think of Tressel. You got to think of Urban Meyer. You got to think of Lloyd Carr. You got to think of Bo Schindler. You go all the way back to Woody. I mean, these things are just amazing. I mean, you got to live.
I couldn't go really for 3.
You got to really know that, be in the Midwest to know this game, man. You got to grow up in it. You got to live it, breathe it all year long. And, things closed down in the Midwest. They closed down in Ohio. They closed down in Michigan. Like, no one has basketball practice. No one has weddings. And if you do, you're fucked up. You don't have a wedding during this time. I mean, come on. You don't plan anything on a Saturday in Ohio
I'm,
anyway.
go-
But
I'm
when
gonna
this
reel you
game
in.
comes
I'm gonna
around,
reel you in a bit, Beef. You're starting
bring
to get
me
out
in.
there,
Come on,
bud.
reel me in.
Let me
Go.
reel you in, man. I got a fish on the line. I got to reel you in. All right, man. What do you think? Can Michigan get 3 straight against Ohio State?
Well, what the hell kind of short bus special needs, nose picking, booger eating kind of question is that? Pretty goddamn obvious, numbnuts.
No, man. This not happening. This is really the Big Ten championship game, AJ. I mean, it doesn't deserve to have a Big Ten championship game after a game like this. This is it. The Big Ten West has never won the championship game, and they never will. This is the last episode of it. And this portion of the game, this particular game, is going to be the last one where everything's on the line. The Big Ten championship game is on the line. The bragging rights, the playoff contenders. One of these teams is going to the playoffs, and the winner is going to be the one. Man, it's never going to be this big again with 12 teams coming next year, because you can have that one loss and still make it. So this is one that'll last the test of time, man. This is huge. And I think the game is going to be won defensively. I mean, you look at these matchups, what's going to happen? Turnovers. Turnovers are going to be key, and also that explosive play. Michigan got the best of the explosive plays the last 2 years. Obviously, man, every time I turned around, I still had those images burned in my brain of JJ just chucking the ball up in the air to a wide open receiver last year. I mean, just dominating Ohio State. But this year, Ohio State's defense, they're a different team, man. Like we said, they're 1-2 in the nation in points scored against them. So the scoring defenses are awesome. Jim Knowles has really turned around that defense. Things are changing. This is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a real struggle. I mean, we're going to see games like the Ohio State, Penn State, the Michigan, Penn State game, low scoring defensive battles. And I mean, before Michigan lost those last two, or before Michigan won those last 2 games, they were fun to watch. I mean, I thought Michigan was definitely going to win this game, but after watching those last 2 games, JJ McCarthy was 76% for completion percentage in the first 8 games of the season. He had 16 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now he's like 61% with no touchdowns and 1 interception. So can Ohio State stop the run? Are they going to rely on the run, stack the box, knock down Blake Corum? And can McCord, is he going to play like a Honda McCord, or is he going to play up there with the best of the best in the nation? I mean, he needs to get a full game, get that ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Henderson needs to have some breakout runs. Those are the obvious things that I think we all think about. But that one key matchup that I'm looking for is Cade Stover. Is he going to be involved in the game? That means McCord's doing the right thing. Marv's going to be double teamed. He's checking down to his main check down, and we'll see what happens. I mean, that's going to be the key to the game for me. And then the keys for
Me, it's all
Michigan.
about JJ. It's all about JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
He struggled the last few weeks. He's got the capability, but he also has the ability to tank it. So who are you going to get? He's obviously super talented quarterback, but you've seen him in the TCU game, but you've also seen him in the Ohio State games in the past where he can go both ways. I think it's the shoulders are going to be on him. You know what you're getting out of Corum. You know what you're getting out of Edwards. You know what you're getting out of the defense. Like you said, McCord and JJ, that's the question, man. What do they do?
Yeah, is JJ going to get those passing yards? And is Corum going to be all superhero like he always is, man?
All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's do these predictions, baby. What you got, man?
Like I said, I saw some passing deficiencies against Penn State and Maryland. I would have picked U of M before all of this, but now I'm going to ride with those Buckeyes, man. The Bucks, Big D just inches out the Wolverines 17-10.
Man, we got fuck Ohio or don't give a damn for the whole state of Michigan. The hairballless Wolverines versus Ryan Day's hairless nuts. Give me them Buckeyes winning this one 23-17.
We got a
All
lock.
right, man. It's locked in. We're going to bring in Jamie the Duck for the next game.
Let's go, Jamie.
Let's get him in here.
Jamie, where you at, bro?
There we go. There's Jamie the Duck.
Where you at, Jamie?
Hey, I just had a little Thanksgiving down here in Oregon. Now I'm ready to head to the Civil War today. So it's going to be a good day. I'm well fed, ready for the big game.
Hey, man, you juiced up on them calories to take on a nasty beaver that wants to throw hands?
Hey, we're gonna need it today. It's going to be a good game.
Hey, please tell me you cooked a beaver instead of a turkey. Come on, man.
Oh, man. I wish, man. They outlawed that a long time ago.
Too many ducks were cooking all them beavers, huh?
Yeah.
Well, here we are, boys. Civil War is brewing on tonight. I'm going to say on. It is
Night.
tonight. It is brewing. The Battle of Oregon between the Beavers and the Ducks in Autzen Stadium. Man, I'm excited for this game. Oregon has looked like one of the best teams in college football ever since that loss to Washington. They're on a roll. Beavers were on a roll, but kind of ended it last week when they played Washington. But man, I'm not going to sit here and talk too much about the Civil War, especially when we got Jamie the Duck in there who understands this rivalry completely. But Beve, feel free to add what you got to say. Then let's let Jamie just jam out.
All right, Jamie, I just wanted to give you some credit, man. Since the beginning of the season when we were talking to you, it wasn't popular. It wasn't a good choice. I didn't think it was a good choice. But man, Jamie, he's been talking about Bo Nix and his chance for Heisman. And now it's the last week of the season. And guess who's up there at the top of the list, man? Between him and Jaden Daniels. I mean, some have him number one, Bo Nix. Some have him number two. I think FanDuel has him number two behind Jalen Daniels, and MGM possibly has him number one. What do you think, man? Give us your take on it.
Consistency. That's what he's been showing all year. You know, I told you at the beginning his stats were okay. They were blowing people out, and so they actually pull their quarterback, unlike LSU, where they keep him in till the end of the game. So you want to look and compare stats. We're not here to blow people out and keep him in. We got people to put in after him, and it's not smart to keep your quarterback in late. And I'm glad that they didn't get bit over at LSU, but that's just not smart football to keep your star quarterback in at the end of the game unless you're just trying to push for a Heisman, and that's really all they got to play for. We're hoping for bigger things over at Oregon, so that's why we've been able to pull him. He's been playing lights out. He had one of his best games of the year. It was Arizona State, and take that with a grain of salt because that's been an up and down team. But also you look and compare Michael Penix Jr. over there. He didn't even score an offensive touchdown against Arizona State. So if you want to compare stats that way, that's one way to look at it. But all around, there's some good quarterback play happening in the Pac-12. I think Bo Nix has just kept it together with consistency, where you look at Michael Penix Jr., he's had a slew of better games than Bo Nix for sure, but Bo Nix hasn't really had an off game. So that's where he's kept it together.
So for me, man, what changed about Oregon this year is everybody thinks of them as a one-sided team, right? They're usually that power offensive team, but this Duck is not that way. This Duck team is not one-sided. They are powerful on both sides of the ball. Tell me about the offense and the defense, man.
Man, Dan Lanning came and, just like Cristobal, he's brought a lot of recruits, but he really focused on the defensive side. He had that SEC prowess of defense, being an SEC defensive coordinator. He brought in another SEC defensive coordinator, pulled him from the NFL in Tosh. And so they really have made a big focus on that defense. And it's really paid dividends where, you have the pass, you have the run, but guess what? You can actually stop them on the other side of the ball. And you've seen that in a lot of games. I think they gave up a good amount of points to Caleb Williams, but that was also Caleb Williams. And so they've been able to hold when they need to. We've lost that one game. I wouldn't put that one on the defense. I felt like they did a decent job. But again, that's also Michael Penix Jr. as well. So anytime you can do all right against those guys, you got a decent defense. Yeah, I'm happy with what they're showing.
Oh, man, they're looking like one of the best teams. If it wasn't for that loss, you're talking about number one, number two in the nation, in my opinion, as far as how they're playing right now. Let's get to y'all's keys of this game to see how we have this playing out. Lord have mercy. Be with me, We pray for that one. Get these words out just right. But anyways, for me, the key of the game is going to be that Oregon running game. Oregon State, the Beavers, they can play D, but they're better at stopping the pass than they are the run. I'm expecting Bo Nix and them to just pound out these Beavers. That's kind of my outlook for the game. What you got, Beef?
Man, I'm going to go ahead and predict it now. This game is in Eugene, which favors the Ducks highly. I mean, what about that home field environment, Jamie?
Man, it's a beautiful place to play there in Austin. Honestly, capacity is not that high as far as how many people they can fit in there, but it is a loud place. It's funny that it's there in Oregon. We were talking about as a family last night. It's like, oh, that's crazy. Oregon doesn't have a single covered section. Like, it's everybody's amongst each other, where it's all the way up. There's no divided section, no 100, 200, 300 levels. It's one section. And so we're in there, we're loud, we're there together. It's a cool place to play. They're going to have definitely some home field advantage. It being such a close game, I think Civil War is probably the best name you can pick for this, because they're 45 minutes down the road. You go one town over from Eugene, and you're going to have Ducks and Beaver fans there because of how close these two schools are. And it's not east side versus west side like it is in Washington. It is literally 45 minutes down the road from each other. These are families divided. You come to my house right now. I'm sitting at my mom's house down here in Oregon. She's an Oregon State grad. My sister was at dinner last night, Oregon State grad. Her little sons, my nephews, Oregon Duck fans. So because her husband's an Oregon Duck, we are a divided state. And so Civil War, great name for it. It's going to be a good time. Expect the Beavers to show up. This is a big year for them. They've had a great season, and so expect the place to be packed with Oregon State and Oregon Ducks everywhere.
I'm ready for it, man. I can't wait to watch the Civil War. It's gonna be a good one, man. Let's get these predictions out there. I think the Ducks get a little wet and wild on these Beavers, and they win this one 38-24.
I got 33-24. The Ducks, of course.
Hey, man, it's a dry day in Oregon today. You're going to see the ball flying. I see 42-21 is what I see, Oregon pulling it out. I think there's a chance, just like any time in a rivalry game. I'm not going to knock Oregon State. They always got a chance what they get against UW. So, but I'm pretty confident my 42-21.
Yeah, if DJ can get a little wild, he can keep it close, but he's also turnover prone. Who knows what you're going to get.
Hey, speaking of DJ, he's got his little brother. He's going to be rushing him. You got 2 5-star recruits coming out of high school. His brother plays defensive end for Oregon. This is the first game they've got to play against each other. You've seen clips of DJ leaving his game, driving down the road to go watch his little brother play football and support him. They're a close family, and it's going to be awesome. I want to see that highlight, a sack on his brother. That'd be awesome today.
Yeah, look, I seen a little video where Dan was saying, "Hey, man, for Thanksgiving, hit your brother."
Oh yeah,
the Uiagalelei Bowl, man.
Oh yeah,
that's why he transferred out there, get a chance to play against his little brother. Everybody loves a little brotherly rivalry, which fits this game. It's actually a perfect little comparison right here. Well, Jamie, we appreciate it, man. I'll let you get on out of here. You enjoy the Civil War. Take some pictures, send them our way. We're definitely going to be jealous, wishing we were out there with you.
Hell
absolutely. Yeah. Go Ducks.
Thanks for joining us, Jamie. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, thank you.
All right. It's time. We're going to play y'all a little video here to kind of get an idea of what we do.
Yeah, show them what we do, man. Backers. At all those games we've been to, show them what we've been doing, man.
Let's do it, man. This is one of our favorite things. Every time we go to a game, we're going to do stuff like this. We're going to get you a little highlighted version of these things.
Who is the worst fan base in all of the Big Ten?
Probably Ohio State.
You guys have been around. Who's the worst?
Okay.
Purdue. Purdue is the worst fan base. You got it. Worst school in the Big Ten?
Ohio State. Easy.
Sparty, New Hampshire, but you know. Sometimes Sparty gets some love.
I mean, it's not as much of a competition. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's not fun to become your little brother too much. It's a little moogie, you move on.
Yeah. Mom says we need to be nice to them.
It's all teams coming in.
Are the new teams, bro? Hey, Rutgers. Hey, nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about them. Rutgers, Maryland, like, are they even in the Big Ten? They should be in the MAC. I don't know. They should be in the MAC. Nobody cares.
I'll see Northwestern. OSU.
Michigan. Hey, who's the worst fan base in the Big Ten?
Michigan. Probably Michigan.
Who's the worst fan bases in the Big Ten?
Penn State. She's self-aware. We love Penn State. It's so self-aware. Should we just say Michigan and call it?
Yeah. Columbus State Community College.
Yeah. What do you think?
Michigan.
Michigan, obviously.
Penn
State. The Big Ten.
Michigan. Rutgers.
All right, who's the worst fan base in the Big Ten?
Michigan.
Michigan, easy. All around.
TTUN.
TTUN. Add team up one.
Michigan.
Easy. Worst fan base in the Big Ten.
Michigan.
Michigan. Right? I'm gonna say Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah,
they are.
they're horrible. Never go.
Let's go. All right, what is the worst fan base in the Big Ten? Ohio State. Hey, let's show the Big Ten how we do a jump around. Jump around. Who is the worst fan base in the Big Ten?
That's easy. That's that team up north, by far. Cheaters,
Easily.
pompous. They don't think they ever do anything wrong. They're as scummy as they come. Jim Harbaugh is a fraud. He's a fraud.
The moral high ground every time, but I mean, when you really look at it, who is the worst fan base?
That's awesome.
That's a good time, man. That just sums up everything that we do. Man, that jump around with those boys was fun. But, it's time to talk about the big rivalry week. It's Big Ten roundup time. We're going to bring out the Midwest Corn Fest game of the week. We got the Hawkeyes in Lincoln versus Nebraska. This is going to be another fun one. Another low-scoring game for the Big Ten West, as always. But who is going to be the king colonel? That's my question. There's a lot of history beyond football here, and it's all about who makes the best corn. And we just got to know. We're going to battle it out on the field to see who king colonel is.
Who is the king colonel? Yes, man. Iowa's number 1 in the nation in producing corn. With them Huskers, they're coming in at number 3, right behind Illinois.
They love those S's.
Hey, man, I got to stop you for a second. Speaking of that last video that we just showed, worst fan bases in the Big Ten, I wore this just for that. Who's yours, baby? They don't even know their players. We got a video up where they don't even know anyone on the team. They don't know their fight song, nothing.
Oh, we'll have that video coming up. Let's talk about Iowa, man. Let's talk about it. They already won the Big Ten West. They're already headed to Indy. So there's no spoiler chance here for Nebraska to say ruin the Hawkeyes' chances. They are literally going to be playing for the right to the post season. Lord, that was a trick.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. But man, this game is going to be another boring Iowa game. I've been to 2 of them. It's hard to stay awake. I look like that USC fan you got a picture of every time I watch Iowa play. This is not going to be any different. It's going to be a snooze fest. But it's just like driving through that state of Iowa. Just boring, man. Good luck staying awake. Better get your caffeine. Better have some coffee. But, man, what do you think about this game, man? What do you think Nebraska's going to do? That fan base deserves it, man. They're as loyal as they come.
Speaking of they deserve it, I got another one for you. Man, I'm pulling for Nebraska. It may be just me. That fan base is awesome. We went there 2 years ago, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago. Anyway, we were there. It was awesome. The fans treated us very well, even though we were from opposing fan bases. That's why I'm pulling so hard for them. I love them. I want to see them in a bowl game. If they go, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be there. I'm going to support those Huskers, man.
Yeah, speaking of this game, you got the number 4 total yards defense in Iowa against the Big Ten's best rushing defense. I think that's an interesting matchup. How do you think that one shakes down?
Hey, man, I can't believe you just gave someone props for the 4th in total yards in the Big Ten. That's not something to brag about.
That's the nation.
In the nation. Oh, that's the D. That's the D. Sorry. Jumped ahead of myself a little bit. But that defense is good. Nebraska has 31 sacks on the season, and that'll continue to grow as Iowa has given up 4 sacks in each of the last 2 games. And this is against Illinois and Minnesota. And I thought Iowa was known for producing linemen and tight ends. But, man, why are you giving up so many sacks, bro? I mean, this game, though, I give Iowa credit. This game is called the Heroes Trophy game, and it honors the citizen from each of the states that has had an outstanding year as a citizen. And, man, Iowa's traditions are starting to grow, and they're meaningful. They pull on the heartstrings of everyone. So I think that's pretty cool. You got to see the wave in person. So what did you think about that, AJ?
Man, I could not wait to do the wave. Obviously, one of my favorite traditions, if not my favorite tradition. It was awesome to finally be able to do it. A wave to the children up there at the Children's Hospital. Like I said, there's more sentimental feeling when I have things like that. Whoever decided to put that right next to the stadium. Man, God bless you. I swear, man,
Yeah.
that was awesome idea. The fans love it. All of college football loves it. If y'all get a chance, get out to Kinnick Stadium, do the wave. It's an awesome thing.
I don't know that all Wisconsin fans love it. They took over the best tradition in the Big Ten and maybe the nation.
Well, as far as excitement and getting pumped for the game, jump around's a little bit more fun, but the other one's sentimental. So they're in two different spectrums. So
different categories.
I'm not gonna knock my jump around,
Hell yeah.
I'm taking that. But Beve, man, give me a prediction on this game. What do you got?
Nebraska has something to play for in front of their home crowd. They're going bowling, and they're going to score a total of 13 points, 13-9. Nebraska, baby. I got the Huskers.
I'm taking Iowa. They're going to do another wave, and they're going to say bye-bye to that Nebraska postseason hopes, and they win this one in the corno, 17-9.
All right then.
All right, Dan. All right, now we got another crazy good matchup we both can't wait to talk about because this one should be a really not close game at all. We got number 11 Penn State at Michigan State. This is a Friday night game, 7:30 p.m. on NBC. The Nittany Lions will end their Big Ten season at Sparty Field in Detroit. Lions had way more hopes to finish more than third again in the Big Ten East, but just like Thanksgiving, this is an annual tradition for those Penn State Nittany Lions to not finish outside of the third place position in the East. Not much of a game here. Whatever Sparty had planned got tucked a long time ago, got tucked away, put away. They're done. They're bad. Don't see much hope for them against these Nittany Lions. Beve, what does Michigan State have to do to kind of surprise the world and actually upset Penn State? Lost your audio, man. All right, so I'm going to get to my prediction. We lost Beve. We can't hear him. It's going to be, to me, a 35-10 game. I think the Nittany Lions just poured on Penn State, or the Nittany Lions poured on Michigan State. My apologies. Hopefully Beve can get his mic worked out here. Let's see. Let's move on to the next game. We're going to have Indiana at Purdue. You have 2 3-8 teams that are going to be battling out for the old Oaken bucket. Ryan Walters in his first year has showed some flashes, but overall this team has been an extreme disappointment. Tom Allen, he was one of the best coaches in the Big Ten East. When he first came in, looked like he took advantage of COVID year and was rocking, really rocking, but now he's lost it. Another 3-8 team. Man, oh man, did he lose control of his team in Hoosier country. Beve, you back? Damn. All right, then. But yeah, Tom Allen, he's going to be coaching for his job. Ryan Walters looks like he could have another good season. He could be building on a good season maybe for next year. Tom Allen, he's looking like he might be coaching for employment somewhere else. I got Purdue winning this and taking the bucket 31-24. We got another great Big Ten matchup for you. We got Northwestern at Illinois. The same Northwestern team who just got their 6th win of the season, going bowling. They have really pulled things together since that debacle in the shower rooms to begin the season that got Fitzpatrick fired. And no one's seen this team going bowling. But they are bowling nonetheless. Illinois looked like one of the hottest teams in the Big Ten West until they ran into that Iowa team we talked about earlier. Once they ran into them, Iowa shut it down, put a little water on that heat they were building. But surprisingly enough, Illinois has the 4th best offense in the Big Ten, and they're going to need that offense to roll because they need to get to a bowl. And if they're going to do it, they got to take down the Wildcats, and those Wildcats can get frisky. My prediction in this game, Brett Bielema will be celebrating at the Golden Corral after the Illini score and win this one 28-20. Any luck, Beve? All right, we're going to move on to the next game here. We got Wisconsin, my Badgers, at Minnesota, 3:30 p.m. game on Fox Sports 1. The battle. Paul Bunyan's axe will be up for grabs in this Big Ten rivalry. What a kick-ass trophy, man. We love that trophy here. One of our favorites from the backers. Whiskey has their fair share of injuries in this season, or has had their fair share of injuries in this season. But man, Quarterback Tanner Mordecai is back. Braylon Allen is back. They're getting healthy, and they're starting to reel in some wins. They got to go bowling last week. They got that overtime win against Nebraska in Madison. Man, it was a good time. That was a fun game to watch. You got the Golden Gophers. Man, they've dug themselves a hole. They're in big, big trouble. Can't seem to find their way out of it. I don't know if they can actually get this win, get the axe, and go bowling. I think Wisconsin's the favorite here. But Beve was going to say, man, this Badgers starting to get their identity back with Tanner Mordecai and Braylon Allen. That's absolutely true, man. If you're Wisconsin, you have a tough-nosed quarterback, and you have a running back that can plow any cornfield in the Midwest. But, man, I'm going to predict this game. The bowl-bound Badgers grab another Wisconsin W and get an axe winning this one 24-13. Let's get to another Big Ten game. The last Big Ten game for the day. We got Maryland versus Rutgers. Maryland will look to that number 3 Big Ten offense as they take on the Big Ten's 5th best defense. Terps have a problem this season, and that's ball security. Turnovers, man. That has really plagued this Maryland offense. If it wasn't for that, they could be balling out this season. But Talua, he just hands him things over too much, man. He's like, here you go. He's Oprah, just passing these things out. Everybody gets an interception. You get a fumble. You get an interception. That's Talua's year, man. If it wasn't for that offense could actually score. They can move the ball. They pushed Michigan to the brink last week. But again, turnover struck and took away their chances. Mr. Chop some wood. Greg Schiano, he is doing work as a head coach again up there at Rutgers. Every year they've gotten better under him. You know he would love to grab another win for his Knights before this regular season ends. Both these teams are going bowling. Both of them are going to represent the Big Ten. Man, this is going to be a nice Maryland offense versus that Rutgers defense. I think Loxley and his Terps get it done, putting those Knights to bed. 31-21. And let's move on, man. We're going to play another video for you, and we'll get to our last segment here. Well, second to last segment here. I do apologize, but enjoy some more of our interviews.
They have no chance. 2-0 last 2 years. They have no chance. Marvin Harrison, shit. He's bad. Everyone's shit. Everyone's bad.
Is the Phoenix going to win the Heisman? Oh, yeah. Mr. Phoenix is definitely going to win the Heisman, yes. And is there a cheer for the Ducks? Do they do anything in particular? They like to throw out this goddamn O, which means 0 national championships. Oh, awesome. 42. 40. The final score is 42. 42 is what I meant, officer. 42. Okay. I ain't going back to jail. They don't let you out. Name one person from the offensive line on Northwestern. I actually don't know. All right, one person from the defensive line. I don't know. One person on the team. Anyone on the team. Decker. Hey, the girlfriend comes with the answers. Here we go. She knows the team.
Gallagher?
You at least tell us the name of the mascot. Willie the Wildcat. There we go.
Big Ten Backers podcast here. Irish just won the game, took down the Trojans. They busted them, son. This guy stormed the field, and he's excited. Hey, I walked up to Caleb Williams. I said, let me see them nails now, boy. You saw what he wrote on his nails last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
It said F-U-C-K-N-D. I don't take that kindly. I take that to my heart.
Got some Penn State fans. How you guys doing today?
We're doing fucking great.
All right, we want to know what the score is going to be at the end of the game.
49-10, the good guys.
Where are these points going to come from?
Second. 1917.
I thought you took the under. How long should Harbaugh be suspended?
Rest of the season.
rest of the season.
Absolutely.
All right, did he know?
Absolutely.
He just got Is Connor Stallions going to win the Heisman? Absolutely.
He deserves
UCLA. There we go. We got a USC fan here now.
I'm here.
Do you think Jim Harbaugh knew about the sign stealing?
Listen, I think he had a little idea, but fuck UCLA now.
All right, welcome back, backers. We're gonna do a little trimming of the landscape. We're gonna talk about some of these other games outside of Big Ten country. Let's get out that trimmer. Let's trim these ginger balls and let's take a look at that landscape. Beve, we still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with you, man. Your mic's done. But anyways, Alabama, number 8 in the country, at Auburn. This is a 3:30 p.m. game on CBS. We have the legendary Iron Bowl. Man, do we get another great rivalry game? This is, to me, the only game in college football that competes with Ohio State and Michigan as being the best rivalry in college football. Not too many games in any sport in America compares to the Iron Bowl and the game. Can't wait to take this one in for another year. But it's looking like this one could be not the greatest one to watch. Alabama starting to roll. Might get a little disappointing game here in Jordan-Hare. They say records don't matter when it comes to rivalry games, and that may be true. Auburn's going to have to pull out some magic to hold that up. I don't see that happening. I don't know if anybody's watched Bama, but the last few weeks, everybody knows what they've done the last few years. Last few weeks, they've really, really started to get hot. Milroe's starting to light it up. This team's looking good. They were my pick to win the national championship this year. All I know is if they get out of Jordan-Hare and they get this win, watch out, college football. The GOAT, Big Dick Nick, is coming. And he's coming for everybody else in college football. You better watch out, man. Yeah, I don't know if Auburn can find any luck against the SEC's second best scoring defense of Alabama, but who knows, man? It's a rivalry game nonetheless. Tough task for the Tigers. I don't see them getting it done, but who knows, man? I'm going to predict this game. Bama, huge. 41-24 over these Tigers. We got a little bit of a rivalry week undercard. We got University of Texas San Antonio at number 23, Tulane, 3:30 p.m. game on ABC. This is an absolute beautiful undercard. University of Texas San Antonio can get themselves in the AAC championship game if they can take down the Green Wave of Tulane. This is a play-in game for the AAC championship. This should be a fun one to watch. Roadrunners lost 3 of their first 4, but haven't lost a game since. They're getting hot. They're on a streak. Tulane, they have flirted with disappointment. Will that disappointment come against these Roadrunners? Man. My favorite heading into this wild card is the Roadrunners. I think they get this one, and they end the repeat of Tulane, and they win this one 31-24.
What up, man?
Oh, my God, he's back. He's back.
Hey, I had to come in on my phone.
Back again.
I had to come in on my phone, brother. That mic is toast.
Oh, man. Anyways, we were just talking about Green. We were talking about Tulane and UTSA. Great undercard.
Yeah,
Green Wave is trying to get to another New Year's 6 game, but I think the Roadrunners ruin that repeat chance for them. What do you think?
Yeah, I got the Roadrunners too, man. Double overtime. I got it 44-42, a back and forth game. It's an exciting one to watch, so tune into this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's definitely going to be an exciting one. We got the next game. We have Texas A&M at number 14 LSU. 12 p.m. game on ESPN. How can you not love to watch these Tigers? Man, Jaden Daniels and that LSU offense is just fireworks. This man is a Heisman stat machine and a must watch every week. He's got us going, Caleb who? That's how good he is. He can say Caleb who? And we're all like,
Who
I don't
dat?
know. Who that?
Who dat?
Yeah. Who that? If you haven't watched the sporting news, And somehow you missed it. Jumbo shrimp has been cooked finally at Texas A&M. Although that LSU offense can score some points, this is a dangerous defense Texas A&M can put out there. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how Jaden Daniels and that LSU offense goes up against that Texas A&M defense. Now, their offense is straight, flat, garbage, ain't got no ass on her at all. That offense is terrible.
Terrible.
But B, break this one down for the back. Let me know what you got.
Hey, man, the only thing that Texas A&M has got going for them is they got cash to pay a buyout and 5-star defensive linemen that don't do shit. That's it. I mean, this game is going to be fun to watch, especially because we get a chance to watch Jalen Daniels and Neighbors get that connection again. And this might be the last time we see it. They're not going to play in the bowl game. I mean, Jalen Daniels, he's a senior. Neighbors, a junior. He's probably going, right? He's going pro. I doubt either of them plays. Daniels, they're gone, man. They're gone. They're in the NFL. It's a sweet connection, but this is the last time we'll ever see it. But that offense, man, averaging 46.8 points per game. 46.8. Let me say that again. 46.8 points per game. I mean, they had to replace the lights on the scoreboard in Death Valley 4 times this year already. And first in the nation. It's insane, man. They're going to light up the scoreboard again, and we're going to take LSU. And Jalen Daniels wins the Heisman. This game, 38-30.
38-30. I like that. I like that score prediction. I actually like it so much. I'm going to keep that score prediction and give it 38-30 as well. Somebody's in my notes, man. He's got him. Connor Stallions. He got a hold of my script, man. He told me my score. Motherfucker got me. Got by the Stallions, man. Just like Crying Day. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
Funny you should mention that.
Love it. All right, let's move on. Let's get to this next game. We got one more for you, and then we're going to bring out Vegas Matt and a pre-recorded little betting section here.
There we go.
Florida State at Florida, 7 p.m. game in the swamp on ESPN. Everybody knows Jordan Travis is out for the season. What a devastating loss for the Seminoles. They also dropped from 4th to 5th in the playoff rankings, so they're that first team just outside of the playoffs right now. Obviously, there's a lot of ball. A lot of things can change, but they need style points. They need all the style points they can get. They need to prove that their backup quarterback can go on that 2014 national championship run the Buckeyes did on their third-string QB. But a lot of people forget Florida State is not an offensive team. This isn't a team that is necessarily driven by Jordan Travis, in my opinion. This team plays defense. The Noles play D, and that's all they need to do. Play solid D. Don't put your quarterback in bad situations. Take care of the new signal caller that's coming in. Take control of these games, much like Ohio State did. When that happened, man, that defense stepped up like 59-0 against Wisconsin. They never put their quarterback in bad situations.
You're right.
Like, whoo! And if Florida State can do something like that, their defense can hold this team together until that quarterback figures it out. They'll be all right. They're obviously going to need some help. This is kind of a weird year where everybody's kind of staying undefeated. You don't see that. Maybe we get chaos in the next couple of weeks. But it's hard to get a win in the swamp. These Gators are kind of up and down. They're a little bit here. They're a little bit there. They push Missouri to the brink, but then also get blown out. I don't know what to expect out of these Gators. Obviously, they have a chance to take advantage of Jordan Travis being out, but that defense has got to play for the Noles. What you got, Beef?
Yes, sir. AJ, you're on to something, man. People aren't thinking about this Florida State defense. They're focused squarely on the offense. And with the quarterback being down, this defense is actually 12th in the nation. They're no slouch. The 12th scoring defense in the nation. The quarterback doesn't affect the defense much. And like you said, there's a little bit difference between that Ohio State team of 2014 and this Florida State team. And the difference is Ohio State had a defeat to start the season and a bad one against Virginia Tech. Florida State is undefeated, so all they have to do is win, and they're in. The next game, though, is a little bit more important. Let's give a little bit of time to Tate Rodemaker and his second start of the season. The first one was against a nobody, Northern Alabama. He had a hell of a game, but they should take this game quick and easy. Florida State gives up a lot of passing yards. It's it's a rookie quarterback in there, man. It's definitely one to watch because this new quarterback can affect playoff chances, the undefeated season that's on the line, and they have a risk of losing it all, man. And a couple turnovers, their season could be over. So they got to get out of the swamp with a win and then on to the next game against Louisville, where starting points might matter a little bit. Just get out of this one with a win.
Yes, sir. What's your score prediction for this game, man? What you thinking?
Hey, man, I got this one a close one. It looks like you do too. I'm going to go with 34-23.
You going 34-23?
Yes, sir.
Man, what do I want to do? I think Knowles win. Knowles win. No, they don't. Keep on dreaming. They don't win.
Oh.
Gators in the swamp without Travis. It's too much. Gators win this one 31-27. Beve, go ahead and hit those best quickies while I get us loaded up for the next
section. You got it. Here we go. We got number 12, Ole Miss, which already played Mississippi State. They won 17-7 last night. We got today TCU against Oklahoma, number 13 Oklahoma at 12 p.m. on Fox. These are ones to watch out for. These games mean something because Oklahoma losing affects Texas too. The quality wins matter. So these teams that are ranked currently need to stay ranked for their teams and their conference to look good. So we got another one, number 9, Missouri against Arkansas, 4 p.m. on CBS. Texas Tech against number 7, Texas, 7:30. Texas has got to win it to stay in it, man. And then Saturday, the slot of games we got that we want to talk about, Kentucky at Louisville. Louisville needs to win it to stay in it, man. They got to win it to stay in it and to help Florida State's chances. Number 15, Arizona at Arizona State, 3:30 on ESPN. Arizona's looking like a team on fire, man. You do not want to run into them. If there was a 12-team playoff, those boys better be in it, man. They are looking good. Noah Fafita playing lights out. But let's go on to the next one. We got the powerhouse Vanderbilt against a team that definitely should not be rated, but the College Football Playoff Committee wants to pump up the SEC, it looks like. Number 21, Tennessee, 3:30, ESPN Network. I really hope Tennessee loses because they are not a good team and they should not be 21 in the nation. Number 25, Liberty at UTEP, CBS, 3:30. All right, this is a good game. You might want to watch this one. Tune in to Washington State at number 4, Washington. There's a chance for a slip up here, man. In a rivalry game like that, much like you had Florida State going down in the swamp, I think Florida State could take this last Apple Cup. Maybe they'll renew this rivalry too. I think they're talking about doing it, and they should. But there's a chance. You could see number 4 going down today. There's one that there's not a chance. Number 1, the Bulldogs at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech takes down big teams, but they ain't taking down no Bulldogs. All right, man. That one is at Georgia Tech, 7:30 ABC. Iowa State at number 19, Kansas State. Again, watch for this team to win. Kansas State needs this to prop up that Big 12, whichever the winner is. Texas, hopefully it's them if they want a team in the playoffs, man. That's at 8 p.m. on Fox. And lastly, the battle for North Carolina. No, this is not basketball. This is football. North Carolina against number 22, NC State on the ACC network. All right, man. Well,
that's the quickies, baby.
You got something to say?
I do. I got something to say. Everybody, go to the fridge, grab yourself a beer, get you a damn turkey leg. College football's coming. It's about to be in your ear. But first, we're going to get Matt in here. We're going to get Matt on the line, and he's going to give us our betting props for this weekend.
Vegas Matt, baby.
Vegas Matt time, baby. This is a pre-recorded line, but we're going to let it play and kind of jam out for you guys.
We got Vegas Matt on the line. What's going on, Vegas Matt? How we doing?
Doing well. How y'all doing?
Splendid, man. Splendid.
I'm full, man. All that turkey.
Yes, sir.
All those mashed potatoes, all that shit. Full. Just full. Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Let's get into these games, man. We got some good games. Before we do, He's going to give us an update on these standings. Matt, hit us with those standings.
Yeah, a little bit of a redemption across the board for at least AJ and myself. Last week I went 16-6. I am 126, 108-3 on the year. AJ, a little bit of redemption. You were 1-6 last week. You're up to 3-4 this week. You are 34, 30-1 on the year. Beve, hard to go back-to-back perfect, but still pretty solid at 5-2 last week. You are 40-25 and have a 5.5 game lead in the standings over AJ. How you feel as we get into rivalry week about that?
I don't even need words, man. You can just hear the clap.
Yeah, speaking of
the clap.
Speaking of the clap, last week, breaking the 7-game losing streak in the BWYP Game of the Week. Ball State rolling out, getting you that win, covering easy. You're now 4-7 there. So we got to try to make it 2 in a row this week.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Give me something good.
And the boys, let me have a little bit of runway here before we kind of get into the games. Really wanted to take a step back here and realize the fact that we are going to be talking about rivalry week this week. There is a lot of emotion, a lot of competitive games. Gambling can be extremely difficult in week 13. We're going to kind of talk through a couple things real fast. When I look at rivalry games, I'm going to tell you I stay pretty heavy on the over-under. I do not like the spreads in rivalry games. You're not going to hear a lot of that action. A couple games I will, but most part I won't, just because games can be really funny. So just kind of think about that as you're gambling this week. Second thing as you're gambling this week, if your team is playing in a big rivalry game, talking to you Ohio State, Michigan fans, please, please, please be smart about your betting. Betting should never be emotional. I know there are a lot of people out there that talk about paying for wins, which is basically betting the money line on the team you hate. I'm not a big fan of losing money, but I understand that. Never bet the spread against the team you hate. That's a double whammy. Nobody wants that if you lose. So be really smart about betting in games where you have an emotional feel towards those. And then the third thing we're going to be talking about quite a bit this week is bowl eligibility. You got a lot of 5 and 6 teams. I'm talking to you, the Big Ten West. Those play a factor when we're looking at lines and spreads and gambling this week. So let's all just be smart, take emotion out of it, look at the facts, try to do the best you can. Thanks for a runway on that, boys.
You're welcome, man. You talked about it. You said Ohio State and Michigan fan. Let's talk about the game. It's time for war. Break that one down for us.
Yeah, knowing we were going to talk about this right away. Full disclosure, everybody, I am an Ohio State alum, diehard Buckeyes fan. Absolutely hate this game for so many reasons, causes a lot of anxiety. So this is really going to go off of what I was talking about earlier. But let's start with the spread. This game, when it opened on Sunday, was -3.5. You've pretty much seen it stay at 3.5. I have seen some books be at -3 Michigan, but really most books are staying at 3.5. Little bit of a wrinkle here. If you go back 3 weeks ago, this was a -6.5 Michigan. So you've actually seen this line drop 3 points over the last few weeks. I always like to take the opening lines as of Sunday, but you are seeing a lot of that trend over the last few weeks go that way. However, when we're looking at sharps and we're looking at cash, you're seeing about 61% of the cash at this time going Michigan. You're seeing 65% of the tickets go Ohio State. That is the large Ohio State fan base. A lot of tickets, but money favoring Michigan. Sharps are pretty big on Michigan this week too. Where I'm looking though, cash 58% right now at the under. I think this game screams under for a lot of reasons. Again, this is for playing a Big Ten championship, basically walking your way into the playoff. You've got Ohio State second in the nation in points against allowed on defense. Michigan is first in the nation. So you got the 1 and 2 best defenses against points playing in this game. I'd be leaning over, but let's start with you, AJ. Where are you going?
Man, it's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with the under. I think I'm going to follow that money and go with the under.
And how about you, Beve?
I got the Buckeyes, man. They're going to cover.
I hope you are right.
All right, we got the next rivalry game. We got the Civil War, Oregon State versus Oregon.
So out of the gate, you saw Oregon -14. That very quickly, as of late Sunday, dropped to -13.5. And you've seen it stay at 13.5 this entire week. So kind of odd where you see that quick jump down and then staying throughout the week as such. Over-under started at 62.5. That's dropped down to 61.5. You're always looking at weather in Eugene. Late November can always be a little funny with the rain. We all saw that last week in Corvallis, Oregon State, Washington. That could play a factor here. Again, I look at a game like this. Oregon has been, in my opinion, one of the most dominant teams in college football. I'd probably throw them in there with Georgia right now, just playing complete football, offensively, defensively, special teams. They are really rolling. They're really dominating their opponents. Oregon State, I think it's been a fun story. I didn't see a ton there. I think they're a really good team. I don't think they're a great team. I understand that 13.5 spread. It's a little bit enticing, but again, anything can happen in a rivalry game like this. I'm leaning over. That's where the cash is going right now. You're seeing about 58% of the cash leaning over. With that being said, where are you going, Beve?
I'm going with the under.
All right. And how about you, AJ?
I am going to take the over, baby. We got the legendary Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn.
Yeah, this one, again, another really funny line. You saw it start out at minus 14.5 in favor of the Crimson Tide. Pretty quickly moved up to minus 15. Over the past couple of days, though, you've seen a lot of money rolling into Auburn. It's down to minus 13.5 in favor of Bama going into Auburn. Over-under started at 49. That has dropped to 47.5. This is one of those games, again, Alabama, I know I didn't say last segment, with Oregon, Georgia playing really good football. Alabama would be in the next tier under that. They are really clicking on all cylinders. I like what they're doing. Auburn, now, because this is college football, you got to think about the emotion. Last week at kickoff, 26.5 point favorites at home against New Mexico State. Now, I've been giving them a lot of flack. That is an 8-3 football team. However, they won 31-10 in Auburn. That is a bad loss in the bye weeks of November in the SEC. So Auburn's got that chip on their shoulders, that bad loss at home. This is a rivalry game. I look at a game like this, I'm leaning with the over, but let's start with you, Beve. Where are you going?
I got to get Alabama.
How about you, AJ?
I want to take Bama laying the points as well.
Yeah, I think they're a complete team. I agree with y'all.
We got Texas A&M playing down in Baton Rouge against LSU.
It's week 13 in college football, and Texas A&M is really going for that 7-5 record, which they do every single year. So pretty standard on them, even though they're 7-4 at this point. These are some interesting lines this week where you actually saw LSU open up at minus 11. You saw it quickly drop to 10, and then it actually jumped back up to 11 currently. So you've really kind of seen it stay pretty much around minus 11 in favor of the Tigers of LSU, even though you saw a little dip earlier in the week. Over-under stayed completely flat at 66.5 here as well. So a little bit of movement with the spread, pretty much no movement with the over-under here. I look at a game like this, LSU, they've got a phenomenal defense. In fact, first in the nation in points scoring. You got Texas A&M 17th in the nation in points scoring. We all know LSU doesn't play defense. This screams over to me. But let's start with you, AJ.
I think A&M is going to find a way to cover this game.
Wow. And how about you, Beve?
Wait, that's tough too. Gosh, I think I got to go over.
I think so too. Just too much fireworks there.
We got the battle for the state of Florida. We got the Seminoles visiting the Swamp, taking on the Gators.
So Florida State here started out at minus 6.5 of the week. It has actually stayed at minus 6.5, although you're actually seeing that line drop a little bit because you're actually seeing about 66% of the cash flowing to Florida, which is surprising. Again, we all know the QB situation of Florida State. I don't have to remind Buckeye fans what a backup quarterback could do 9 years ago. So really don't know what we're going to get from Florida State. This would be a very much stay away from this line. Could be a dominated win by Florida State. We don't know what their backup quarterback's going to do. I'd stay away from the spread on this one. However, the interesting piece is the over-under. It started at 51. It has now dropped down to 49. You've actually seen 64% of the cash going with the under here. I look at a game like this. Florida has been really sluggish all year. However, they are 5-6. This is one of those bowl-eligible teams. They're going to fight like crazy because this could be the last game of their season. I could see a tight one here. Don't know what the backup quarterback. I'm leaning under here, going with the cash. But let's start with you, Beve. Where are you going?
I'm going to take Florida to beat the spread.
All right.
But lose the game.
Fair enough. And how about you, AJ?
Yeah, Gators cover here. I think they're going to make this one close.
Wouldn't bode well for the playoff for Florida State if it's close.
We got a couple of 3-8s battling it out for the old Oaken Bucket, Indiana at Purdue.
Purdue started out at -3. They have jumped up to -4.5. We've seen the over-under stay pretty set at 51. These are 2 3-8 teams. Pretty pathetic. Purdue has been playing a little bit better as of late. So is Indiana. So I see this being a little bit more of a competitive game. I do not like anything -4, -4.5 here. To me, this feels like that touchdown field goal minus 4-point game, 3-point game. I'd stay away from the spread. Give me the over.
Well, I got another one for you, Matt. We got the battle for the Land of Lincoln Trophy. Northwestern's taking on Illinois.
Northwestern, again, just keeps fighting. I don't know how they are doing it. This is a bowl-eligible 6-5 team. They're going to Champaign to take on a 5-6 Illinois team. Again, 5-6. Keep that in mind. Burt Bielema's fighting for that bowl eligibility. Illinois -6 over under here, 46.5. Northwestern has stayed tight and competitive in all these games. I think if Illinois was bowl eligible, there wouldn't be as much fight. I'd feel very comfortable with Northwestern. However, I do think the Illini will win it. However, I would take the points with the Northwestern Wildcats.
We have Wisconsin at Minnesota for Paul Bunyan's Axe, one of my favorite trophies.
Wisconsin -2 here, which is a little bit surprising, and over under at 42 as well. Minnesota, another 5-6 bubble team. I don't actually know how they got 5 wins at all this year. I haven't seen much out of them. I know Wisconsin has been clunky in their first year, a lot of injuries. However, this one, lay the points, give me the Badgers.
We got Maryland at Rutgers, both of them going bowling.
Yes, they are. So no bowl eligibility factor in play here. Maryland -2 here, over under at 44.5. Rutgers, the last few weeks, their offense has gone nowhere to the point that they are actually 112th in the country in points scored. Both these defenses are solid, 50 and 26. So pretty good, but not great. This one screams under to me.
We got 2 teams that are going from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. We got Colorado at Utah.
Utah -22 at home, 7-4 against the Buffaloes. And the over-under here is at 52. This is a game where Utah has shown in the past when they're playing pretty bad defenses that they can score a lot of points. Colorado 121st in the nation in points against allowed. Colorado's 47th in points scoring. Don't really know what their situation is going to be like. I would actually lay the points. Give me the Utes.
I like that. We got the Territorial Cup, Arizona at Arizona State.
Arizona started out at -10.5. That has actually jumped up to -12. You've seen it over under here at 51. This is where I'm going to kind of break one of my rules that I talked about at the beginning. I actually really like the Wildcats here in the spread. They have been beaten down the last few years by Arizona State. Arizona is really rising. I love that program. I love what the coaching staff is doing there. Lay the points. Give me the Wildcats.
All right, Matt. How about the Apple Cup? Washington State at Washington.
Yeah, the Huskies started out at -17. That has dropped a little to -16. Over under was at 68. It has dropped down to 67. Obviously, this one's near and dear to my heart, being up here in the Seattle Pacific Northwest area. Got to get a little love for the Cougs. 67% of the cash right now is going towards the Cougars. 75% of the cash is actually going towards the over, even though you've seen that drop a little bit in some books. You've actually seen it rise in a couple other books. The book I look at had a drop and a half a point. Overall cash, though, in most places, 75% on the over. Again, I think this is a story of people keep betting on the underdog. I had no idea why Washington was an underdog last week. They covered. They won outright. I look at this game, though, have no idea what's going to happen. You actually have pretty clean weather up here. Give me the over.
We got the Legends Trophy, Notre Dame at Stanford.
Notre Dame started out at -24.5. You've seen that jump to -25.5. Over under was at 51.5. You've actually seen it drop to 49.5. If you've actually looked at the last couple of games with Notre Dame, they've been putting up a lot of points against bad teams. They had such a brutal schedule early on. I think that they're now clicking and they're playing softer opponents and you realize how good their offense is. I actually am going against the grain on this one. Give me the over.
I like it. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. we have California at UCLA, who had that massive upset last week.
They sure did, and I don't know if it's enough to save Chip Kelly's job, but it was a very nice win. And the Bruins are -9. You have an over-under here of 52. California 5-6. Again, this is actually a very good offensive team and one of the worst defensive teams in college football, 124th in points against allowed. So I look at a Cal team that can score some points. I know UCLA is great, 11th in the nation points against allowed. That's a good defense, but great offenses can score some points against great defenses in college football. I actually like the over on this one.
Well, it's time, boys. It's time. It's time for the Burns When You Pee game of the week. Beve got clean last week, as Matt mentioned earlier, and here we are. Is he going to catch it again?
Got some penicillin, buddy.
All right, Beve. You're going to need it because we are traveling to the Northeast, where the Huskies of UConn at 2-9 are traveling to UMass, who is 3-8. This is a disgusting game for a lot of reasons. I was one of those believers when we were talking early on, when we were looking at over-unders on the year. I actually thought UConn was going to put something together there. I thought they were building a program back up. They had some respectability in the past, really fell off. Okay season by their standards last year, but they have fallen right back to where they were all along. UMass, the independent team, has just been a doormat to everybody. They have been atrocious. We have a -2.5 for UConn. We have an over/under of 51. So where are you leaning, Beve, on this? What can I get you to help?
UMass has one more win. They have one of their offenses or defense that's not in the 100 or above ranking. I guess I should say 100 or below ranking, meaning their offense is 90th in the nation in points scored. UConn can't say the same. They're 126 and 113. UMass is at home. I got to take UMass against the spread. They're beating the spread, baby.
Well, they would be getting 2.5 points in this case. So UConn is favored. UConn is favored -2. Since you always like to go, all right. I was going to say, dude, I was going to give you some schedule here. Believe it or not, UMass actually beat New Mexico State at the beginning of the year. And again, that was kind of laughable. New Mexico State 8-3, playing well.
Yeah, New Mexico State was in Burns When You Pee episode earlier in the season.
Yeah, and you know what? Shame on me, New Mexico State fans. Just send me all the hate mail you want. Mea culpa. I'm sorry. That program has been in the dumpster for a long time. Really come back out, played really well. UConn really doesn't have much. They beat Rice this year, and they also beat Sacred Heart. So I would say UMass at least has a decent win on their schedule this year. However, they are dead last in points against allowed on defense. So their defense is atrocious. So with that, you want to take the +2.5 in UMass, or you reconsider?
UMass, baby. They're at home. They got this.
All right. You heard it, AJ.
UMass is going to make you look like ass. Good pick. Good pick. All right, guys. That's it for the Vegas segment. We appreciate you, Matt, as always, getting us in the money, getting these bets, making us educated where to put our money.
61%, baby.
It is a good winning percentage, Beve. Very proud of you.
All right. Welcome back.
Get back at it next time.
Yeah, welcome back, Big Ten backers. How we doing? Beve, you still there, man?
Hey, man, I'm here. I'm ready. I was just thinking about that win percentage, man. Woo! And I'm ready with the Buckeyes, baby. Let's roll.
Oh, man, he's got the shirt on. All right, backers, it's time for us to get out of here. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for sharing. Keep hitting us up on the socials. Beve, get us on out of here.
Hey, thanks, Big Ten backers. Thanks for coming. Sorry, it was our first time live, so it'll be better next time for sure. But we'll see y'all in Ann Arbor at the Big House. If you want to interview, hit us up for your seats. We'll be there. Let us know on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Twitter, the X. All right, Big Ten backers are out. God bless. Go Bucks.